Hello, fellow numismatists, and welcome back to Coin Hunter. Today, we're diving into a corner of American coinage that might just have you checking your pocket change with newfound excitement. While most of us pay little attention to the humble dime, certain dates of this 10-cent piece command astonishing premiums that can turn spare change into serious cash. The 1980, 1982, and 1996 Roosevelt dimes we're exploring today aren't ancient relics or gold doubloons, but modern minting errors and rarities that could be hiding in plain sight, perhaps even in your collection right now. Let's begin our journey with the 1980 Roosevelt dime, a coin that perfectly illustrates how a tiny detail can create an extraordinary rarity. The 1980 P. Roosevelt dime is completely ordinary, with over 800 million struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But its San Francisco counterpart tells a very different story. In 1980, the San Francisco Mint was primarily focused on producing proof coins for collectors. However, something unusual happened that year. They produced a small number of business strike dimes intended for circulation. These 1980 S Roosevelt dimes with the S Mint mark meant for general circulation are exceedingly rare. What makes this situation particularly intriguing is the historical context. The San Francisco facility had largely moved away from producing circulation coins by this time, focusing instead on proofs and commemoratives. The appearance of these business strike S-mint dimes represents an anomaly in modern U.S. coinage, creating what we call a circumstantial rarity, not from a low mintage plan, but from an unusual production situation. When examining a potential 1980 S. Roosevelt dime, pay careful attention to the mint mark. The S should be clearly visible on the obverse, head side, just before Roosevelt's neck. Under magnification, you'll notice the S-mint mark has sharper serifs than the P or D varieties. Additionally, genuine specimens will show the characteristic strike quality of San Francisco, typically sharper than their Philadelphia or Denver counterparts, with better defined torch flames and bands on the reverse. The value of these coins varies dramatically with condition. In circulated grades, a genuine 1980 S business strike dime might bring $50 to $100. However, in pristine uncirculated condition at MS 67 or above, they can command $2,000 to $5,000. At a heritage auction in 2019, a PCGS MS 68 example sold for a staggering $7,200. Not bad for a 10-cent piece. What I find most fascinating about this coin is the mystery surrounding exactly how many were produced. The Mint has never officially acknowledged these business strikes as distinct from the proof versions in their records, making it impossible to know the true mintage. Numismatic researchers estimate perhaps 5,000 to 10,000 may exist, a tiny number when you consider most modern dimes are produced in the hundreds of millions. The confusion between proof and business strike versions adds another layer of complexity. The 1980 S-proof dimes, which are relatively common, have a mirror-like field and frosted devices, while the business strikes have a more uniform appearance. Many collectors and even some dealers mistake proof coins for the rare business strikes, so education about these differences becomes crucial when hunting for this rarity. There's also an interesting story about how these coins were discovered. In the early 1980s, a bank teller in Northern California began noticing S-mint dimes in bank rolls. Being a casual collector, she set them aside, eventually showing them to a local coin dealer who recognized their significance. This discovery sparked a minor dime rush in the area, with collectors scrutinizing rolls of dimes hoping to find these rare S-mint specimens. The condition spectrum of the 1980 S business strike dime dramatically affects its value. Since these coins weren't intended for collectors initially, many entered circulation and show wear. A well-worn example might grade fine to very fine and still command $40 to $60, a 600-fold return on its face value. In extremely fine to about uncirculated condition, prices climb to $100 to $200. The sweet spot for collector value versus rarity seems to be in the MS 63 to MS 65 range, where prices typically fall between $500 to $1,500, still attainable for serious collectors, but representing significant value. Authentication is particularly important with this issue, as counterfeits do exist. Some unscrupulous sellers have added S mint marks to common Philadelphia dimes, while others have tried to pass off proof specimens as business strikes. Professional grading is highly recommended before making a significant purchase. For those of you watching who enjoy the thrill of the hunt, the 1980 S Business Strike dime represents one of those modern treasures that could theoretically still be found in circulation. While the odds are admittedly slim, the possibility exists, making every roll of dimes a potential jackpot for the knowledgeable collector. What elevates this coin beyond just its rarity is how it represents a moment of transition in U.S. mint history, a time when production practices were changing, branch mints were being repurposed, and the modern era of coinage was taking shape. This historical significance adds an intellectual dimension to its appeal beyond mere scarcity. Our third featured rarity brings us to the 1996 W Roosevelt dime, a coin that stands as one of the most significant modern U.S. rarities and represents a fascinating chapter in American numismatic history. Unlike our previous two coins, the 1996 W dime wasn't the result of an error or oversight. Instead, it was a deliberate special issue created to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt dime series. What makes this coin extraordinary is that it was the first time the West Point mint mark appeared on a Roosevelt dime, and it was only available in a specific way that virtually guaranteed its rarity from day one. The 1996 W dime was never released for circulation. Instead, it was exclusively included in the 1996 uncirculated mint set, which the mint marketed as a special commemorative product. This was a strategic decision by mint officials to boost sales of these annual sets, which had been declining in the preceding years. The plan worked brilliantly. Sales of the 1996 uncirculated mint set more than doubled compared to previous years. When examining a 1996 W dime, the most obvious feature is the W mint mark located to the right of Roosevelt's neck on the obverse. This mark is typically well-defined and slightly larger than the P or D mint mark seen on other Roosevelt dimes. The strike quality on these coins is generally excellent, with sharp details on Roosevelt's hair and the torch on the reverse. These coins were produced to high standards, with special attention to quality control. The surfaces typically show excellent luster with a satiny finish characteristic of uncirculated business strikes. Under magnification, you'll notice fewer bag marks and contact points than typical circulation strikes, reflecting their special status. The market value of the 1996 W dime has shown remarkable strength over the years. Since they were only available in mint sets, they started uncirculated grades by definition. In MS 63 to MS 65, these dimes typically sell for $50 to $100. Premium quality examples in MS 67 or MS 68 can bring $200 to $500. The current auction record stands at an impressive $1,800 for a perfect PCGS MS 70 example sold in 2019. What makes the 1996 W dime story particularly fascinating is the historical context. This was the first time the West Point mint mark appeared on a Roosevelt dime, and only the second time it had been used on any regular issue U.S. coin, the first being the 1984 W Olympic Gold $10 coin. The West Point Mint, originally built as a bullion depository in 1938, had primarily focused on producing gold coins and storing precious metals. This special dime issue represented a significant expansion of its role in American coinage. There's an interesting collector anecdote about these coins as well. When the 1996 uncirculated mint sets were first released, many casual collectors didn't immediately recognize the significance of the W mint mark. Some even returned their sets to the mint, complaining about error coins with the wrong mint mark. By the time the coin's importance was widely understood, many sets had already been broken up, with the silver coins removed for their bullion value during the silver price spike of the late 1990s. The condition spectrum for the 1996 W dime is narrower than our previous examples since they were never circulated. The primary value factors become the quality of strike, presence of toning, and most importantly, the absence of handling marks. Coins graded MS 63 to MS 64 typically show some minor contact marks, while MS 65 to MS 66 examples display fewer imperfections. The truly elite examples in MS 68 to MS 70 show virtually perfect surfaces and command the highest premiums. Authentication is less of a concern with the 1996 W dime compared to our previous examples, as creating a convincing counterfeit would be technically challenging. However, the main issue collectors face is determining if a coin has been improperly cleaned or dipped, which can significantly reduce its value. Natural toning is generally considered desirable, with rainbow-toned examples often commanding substantial premiums. The mintage figure for the 1996 W dime stands at 1,457,000, considerably higher than our previous rarities, but still tiny compared to regular circulation strikes. What's fascinating is that despite this relatively known mintage, far fewer examples have been preserved in top-grade condition. The major grading services have certified only about 15,000 examples in mint state, with fewer than 1,000 in grades of MS 68 or higher. The 1996 W dime represents an important turning point in modern U.S. coinage history. It signaled a new era of commemorative marketing strategies by the mint, where special issues would be used to boost sales of regular products. This approach has since become commonplace, with the mint regularly including special strikes in their annual sets. For collectors, the 1996 W dime offers that perfect blend of historical significance, limited availability, and attainable pricing that makes for an exciting addition to any collection. It's the kind of coin that brings together numismatic history, minting technology, and marketing strategy in one fascinating package. And that brings us to the end of our exploration of these three remarkable modern dimes. Each tells a unique story about American coinage, from production errors to deliberate commemorative issues. Together, they remind us that remarkable treasures can exist even in modern U.S. coins, hiding in plain sight among the coins we use every day. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who's just discovered the fascinating world of numismatics, these dimes demonstrate why modern U.S. coins deserve serious attention. They offer the thrill of the hunt, historical significance, and impressive potential returns, all wrapped up in coins that theoretically could still be found in circulation or tucked away in forgotten collections. So the next time you receive change or come across a jar of old coins, take a moment to examine those Roosevelt dimes. You never know, you might just be holding a small silver disc worth thousands of dollars. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your collections continue to grow in both value and historical significance. Now let's move on to our second featured rarity, the 1982 No Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. This is a coin that perfectly illustrates how even modern U.S. coinage can produce significant errors that escape the mint's quality control. The year 1982 was nothing special for dime production on paper. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 500 million dimes, and Denver contributed another 580 million. But something unusual happened at the Philadelphia facility that year. A small number of dimes were struck without the expected P mint mark. To understand why this matters, we need a quick bit of context. Prior to 1980, Philadelphia had never placed a mint mark on its dimes. Their absence indicated Philadelphia origin. But starting in 1980, the mint began adding the P mint mark to all denominations except the cent. So by 1982, collectors expected to see a P on Philadelphia minted dimes. The most likely explanation for these missing mint marks involves the die preparation process. At the time, mint marks were punched into working dies manually. The best theory among numismatists suggests that a batch of dies simply missed this crucial step before being put into service. Whatever the cause, the result was a distinctive modern error that commands significant premiums. Identifying a genuine 1982 no mint mark dime requires careful examination. First, check where the mint mark should appear, just to the right of Roosevelt's neck on the obverse. On the error coins, this area is completely blank. Be wary, though, as worn examples of regular P-mint dimes can sometimes appear to have no mint mark if wear has obscured it. Under magnification, you might see traces of the mint mark on these worn coins, while true no mint mark specimens will show perfectly smooth fields in this area. The strike quality on these error dimes is consistent with other Philadelphia issues from 1982, typically sharp but not exceptionally so. The luster tends to be cartwheel in pattern, with a slightly satiny finish characteristic of business strikes from this era. In terms of value, the 1982 no-mint mark dime has seen impressive appreciation over the years. In circulated condition, these coins typically bring $50 to $150 depending on the level of wear. Uncirculated examples in MS-63 might fetch $200 to $300, while premium quality specimens in MS-65 or better can command $500 to $1,000. The current auction record stands at $2,750 for a PCGS MS-67 example sold in 2018, an impressive return on a 10-cent investment. What fascinates me about this era is how it connects to the broader story of quality control at the U.S. Mint. The 1982 no-mint mark dime emerged during a period of transition in mint operations, when procedural changes and automation were beginning to reshape production practices. These era coins serve as tangible evidence of the human element still present in coinage production during this era. There's also an interesting collector anecdote about these dimes. In the mid-1980s, a vending machine service technician in Ohio noticed odd-looking dimes while servicing his route. Being a casual collector, he recognized the missing mint marks and began systematically checking all the dimes that passed through his machines. Over 3 years, he reportedly assembled a hoard of nearly 200 examples, likely the largest single accumulation of this error type ever formed. The condition spectrum for the 1982 no-mint mark dime is particularly important. Since these entered circulation normally, many show significant wear. In heavily circulated grades like good to very good, they might bring $30 to $50. Fine to very fine examples typically sell for $75 to $125. Extremely fine to about uncirculated specimens command $150 to $250. The most dramatic value jump occurs at the uncirculated level, particularly when you reach gem grades of MS-65 and above. Authentication concerns are valid with this error. Some unscrupulous individuals have attempted to remove mint marks from regular 1982 P dimes using acids or abrasives. Under magnification, these altered coins will show disturbed surfaces in the mint mark area, often with microscopic pitting or tooling marks. This is why professional grading is highly recommended before making a significant purchase. Population reports from major grading services suggest that perhaps 2,000 to 3,000 examples have been certified across all grades, making this significantly rarer than many classic 20th century dimes. Most experts believe the total population, including unattributed examples still in circulation, might be around 10,000 to 15,000 coins, a tiny fraction of the original mintage. The 1982 no-mint mark dime represents that perfect intersection of rarity, historical significance, and attainability that makes coin collecting so engaging. It's not priced beyond the reach of average collectors, yet it's scarce enough to feel like a genuine trophy when added to a collection. And like our previous coin, it's theoretically possible, albeit unlikely, that examples could still be found in circulation or in rolls of dimes from the early 1980s. What elevates this coin beyond mere error status is how it fits into the broader narrative of U.S. coinage history. It represents a moment when mint production was evolving, procedures were changing, and quality control was adapting to new standards. In many ways, it's a time capsule of mint operations during a transitional era.